So for those of you living in cities where Cineplex has the time play enabled in your theater, I want you to all choose the name Muhammad when you go to the theater, because that's what I do, and I make all my friends do it, because they won't let you pick offensive names like Dick, which is a real name, but they let you pick Muhammad. So it's funny. The more Muhammads there are on the screen at the end, the better. And I want to go to a theater one day where literally all 10 names on the leaderboards are like Muhammad's. It's really, I don't know why it's funny, but I think it's funny. So I just saw Insidious 1.5, I mean The Conjuring, and I would give it a 6 out of 10. It's not a bad movie. I mean, you can tell that James Wan actually gave a shit about this one in terms of, him making references to himself with the creepy dolls, and you're like, oh, it's the guy that made the Jigsaw doll and the guy that made Dead Silence. He likes creepy dolls. Or the fact that he included that oneer, the seamless shot of them unpacking into the house. That actually took effort, and it was very similar to that scene in his other movie Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon that I'll link down below, or at least the featurette to that scene, because he actually puts effort into things sometimes. And this is a movie where, as a whole, I would say that he actually put a lot of effort into it. And even though it is the movie that follows the formula of we're a family moving into a house, oops, turns out somebody died here and now there's ghosts. Even though it's one of those, it's probably the best one of those, which isn't really saying much. It is a crowd pleaser. I would recommend it to the general public, and as you can see on IMDb right now, the general public loves it. But as for me, maybe I have a bias. Maybe I'm not scared by ghost movies, and I think that's part of the issue for me, honestly, is because when you write a ghost movie, you don't really have to give a shit or pay attention or put any effort into what the antagonist is doing, not even really what their motivations are. All you have to do is have a little blurb like, this is how they died, this is how they killed someone, and then it'll loosely relate to what the antagonist's motivations are, perhaps near the end of the film. And literally, your entire script is just thinking, I want someone to be scared at this interval, in almost a formulated way, and you just pick a fucking random person. It doesn't even matter, because, the presence of the antagonist is just appearing and then disappearing. It doesn't matter. It's like, we're always with you. We're in the house. We're attached we're spirits. Like, it doesn't scare me. There's no presence to it, and I don't believe in ghosts, and the entire theater was screaming. It's kind of embarrassing. But not half as embarrassing as the look that guy next to me gave me when I asked if he wanted to be Muhammad on time play. This is the type of movie where the dog barks at the house because the dog knows more about ghosts, and then I guess I'm putting a spoiler alert now. Spoiler alert. The youngest child, seems to have a connection with the ghosts and is so nonchalant about it, being like, oh, it's my friend, Billy, what? Why would this be anything out of the norm? I'd talk to ghosts. It's every fucking movie. There's a million of these movies. This one's slightly better, but it's the exact same thing you've already seen 800,000 times. There's a scene where they go into first-person perspective with a video camera, and they go into the basement. And I found that kind of cool. You're paying homage to a different genre that you have been loosely involved with as a director. And it didn't seem to bother anybody but me, because I can't experience any joy ever. Is the 1960s camera that they were using had like 8K resolution. What was up with that? What was up with that? It was something that I was expecting to happen at about the end. I was expecting a twist. I was expecting there to be a reveal that the youngest child was actually possessed from the point where, right after the dog had died. I was expecting that, because they were giving subtle hints throughout the movie, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was an alternate ending that revealed that my theory was plausible. But they said that the demon worked by breaking down the most psychologically vulnerable person in the house. Now, the camera was on the mom character, and we all knew that it was her at that point because she was the one getting bruises, and it was being implied that it was her. But if you actually think about it, it's like, who? Why would the mother be more psychologically vulnerable than a fucking 4-year-old? I don't get it. So, I mean, just from that line alone, I was kind of expecting that. I was like, I see what you're doing. And not only that, they did say that there would have to be some sort of like the fact that the kid went outside alone to see that the dog had died. You could argue that the ghosts set that up for that child to break her down and then enter her body. Gross. I was really expecting it because the kid was acting fucked up, stupid, creepy, nonchalant, and not a care in the world the whole movie. There was one good scene with one of the child actors where she was like, "It's behind the door," and I was like, that's pretty well acted. But then after the event happened, like after the parents came in the room and were like, what the fuck's going on? Then for some reason her acting became less convincing, and I don't know why that is. I guess it was like a different type of scared that she was performing, but all of a sudden it was like, hey, you're smiling now. It had its moments. 6 out of 10. That's all I gotta say, really. There were some continuity errors, and there was some moments where they made a cut in mid-sentence, and it did exactly what I just did right there, and you could tell it was from 2 different takes. Maybe I should have actually made a cut, but you get what I was saying. 6 out of 10, and I'm gonna keep working on my new review as soon as I'm not working my real job. I just got back from work right now. I would have made this quickie yesterday. I don't know why I didn't. Everything sucks right now. I'm not going to talk about my personal problems because this is my review channel.